Hello, and welcome to Totally Schway Flip Side, a podcast about whatever the hell I want it to be about. And today, we're going to talk about some comments
Okay, what comments are we talking about?
from Birds of a Feather.
Yes, yes. So these are the comments on our last episode of the Totally Schway podcast. Not at all confusing.
No, no, never. Huh? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Mm.
I have to go to the office all week next week, so I'm trying to churn out some videos so I don't get behind on my schedule. So, other than that, everything's fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how I am since you asked.
yeah.
Um, I am getting in the holiday spirit because yesterday we went to a garden center, and that's what they're called, aren't they? Yeah, garden center.
Or a farm
And
shop, some people call it.
yeah, I love this garden center, and I ended up buying some really nice Christmas ornaments, and it made me really happy.
Good.
I know it's not Christmas yet, but um that's what I kind of do. I don't just buy, I mean, yesterday I bought a lot of ornaments, but I don't buy ones that are like, I like to keep my things, so like not just
Not disposable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm buying more this year is because about 3 years ago we got this cat named Gildy. And I think it was the year before last when I put the tree up. He was playing with it, and it's fine because he's a cat. But I had to replace some.
hmm The only other thing of note from that garden centre is they had a set of light up yellow ducks
Oh
and
yeah,
penguins, and you immediately said, "Oh look, it's Batman Returns."
yeah, it did. I would have bought those, but we don't have a backyard. I mean, to be honest, I probably put them in the front yard.
Yeah, they're not for yards; they're to
Were
go
they
on
not?
trees. Yeah, they're tree decorations.
Okay, this changes everything. Because I'd probably buy like three of them. Because there were how many in each?
5 in each
Okay,
pack,
so
all
like
connected.
two of them would be fine.
hmm
So yeah, should we actually get to the comments?
Yeah, let's do it. So, all right. So these were the comments on the last episode of Totally Schway about Birds of a Feather,
Okay.
which we said was not the worst episode with the penguin in. It's not an amazing episode, but it's certainly not terrible. At least I don't think so. So first comment then. I'm going to start from the top this time. So these are the newest comments.
Mm-hmm.
The first comment comes from Dragonmaster707, who says, I think you're right about how the Penguin's character in BTAS is inspired by Danny DeVito's portrayal in Batman Returns. After all, both the series and the show came out in the same year, so it's highly likely that Warner Brothers did influence much of how Oswald Cobblepot's portrayed in the couple of seasons before the new Batman Adventures revival of the ever-growing DC animated universe. After all, it's not just the design of the Penguin that's based on the of the Burton movies, but also his lair, a dilapidated sewer, his comically large yellow duck boat, as we were alluding to earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and his role in the pilot of the episode, in the plot, of the episode The Mechanic, to sabotage the Batmobile, which is shown in the movie. Now, that last one apparently was a complete coincidence. They wrote it before Batman Returns came out, and that no plot details had been shared at all. So when they saw Batman Returns, they were like, holy crap, how did we come to that? That's the same idea. Huh, weird. Anyway. Okay, so to continue the comment, it says, also I want to ask Luke a question regarding the judicial system of Arkham Asylum. I don't know if that would be an interesting topic to cover in its own video essay. Most of Batman's rogues galleries are incarcerated for two reasons. They're making illegal loopholes to avoid being sent to Stonegate Penitentiary. They undergo a psychiatric analysis to confirm whether or not they indeed suffer from clinical insanity or mental illness that results in their criminal acts and can be treated or cured. When diagnosing villains like Two-Face, the Joker, and the Riddler, it's relatively easy to understand why they're in Arkham for treatment, and not just incarceration. However, I don't see how the Penguin is eligible to be criminally insane and confined to Arkham if he is indeed of sound mind. Do you think that you can shed some light on that? Yes, so the Penguin doesn't get sent to Arkham. He is incarcerated in Stonegate in Batman the Animated Series. That's where he was released from in Birds of a Feather upon completing his sentence. And if you watch the episode Second Chance, Batman goes to Stonegate Penitentiary to interrogate the Penguin when he thinks that he's a potential suspect for kidnapping Harvey Dent. So you are entirely right. The Penguin is not insane or mentally unwell. He's just a bad man. But yes, thank you for your comment. Next comment is from August DSJ 1993, and he says at 15:02, it really depends. If I'm in a setting which looks like I should eat with a fork, I'll eat pizza with a fork, but if I'm comfortable, then I just eat the slice. So if it wasn't clear, this was reference to when I went out for that team lunch and ate pizza with my hands and asked everyone else what they did.
I am just the type of person, I don't like having fried chicken, like American fried chicken, I should say, with my hands, or like hot pizza, because you get grease on it, and I really don't like, I don't like things like that on my hands.
That's why they give you napkins.
I know, but I can't stand it.
That's fair enough.
I remember when I was, I was probably like 7 years old, because I still live with my mom. We went to this place in Oklahoma City called Lucy's Pizza. It was like one of the best pizza places ever that my stepdad used to take us to. And I remember I would not eat anything because I just at that. They didn't give me a fork. And it's like the best type of pizza places are like the you have to pat off the grease a little bit. That's the type of place that was. So I was like, oh no. Yeah.
And you starved, and that was the last anyone saw of you.
I didn't starve. Don't you dare think that, because I think we took some home, and once it cooled down, I ate some because it wasn't so greasy.
Yes, but thank you for your comment, August DSJ 1993. Next we have David Carney, who says, hi Mary and Luke, I thought at times the writing for Penguin could be inconsistent. Yes, very much good.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation is always a good thing, as people deserve a second chance, and it shows that even the Penguin can change. The episode isn't bad either. Have a good week all. Yes, you too, David. Yes, thank you. Seems that we're simpatico there. We're aligned. Next we have Michael Andre Parlon 3. Hang on, is that actually his username? Michael Andre Parlon 3? What happened to the original Michael Andre Parlon? Did he get permanently banned?
Did you get a perma ban?
I mean, admittedly, there's an ellipses on the end of his username, so there are probably other numbers after that, actually, so I'm probably mistaken. But do let us know, Big Mikey P, if you were permanently banned. Do you know, I really don't like that word, lord.
No, you don't.
Yeah, that's why she says it.
No.
But yes, Big Mikey P says Criff got late a little, probably because he got suspended. Internet problems and rewatching an Aria the animation episode occupied. Oh yeah, there's a Billie Eilish song with the same name as the episode. Thanks for reminding, Mary. Forget Chapman. Veronica Vreeland's the real star of the episode and later BTAS and TNBA tales. She says a lot that she even gets a comeback in the Adventures Elseworld tie-in comic. Oh, don't say that. It's not an Elseworld. Paul Dini and Alan Burnett wrote that, so it counts, even if you don't like it. The flaw of the Penguin in the DCAU is I don't effing know how to write him and do stories about him. Amusing how Batman Returns, the Batman 2004, and the Matt Reeves verse have done him better, but even then certain liberties were done. It's nonsense, like 50 Shades of Grey, Turning Point Borderlands, and the Minecraft movie, Florida Men and the Seafood Boil, that make me want to Oliver Cromwell the hell of increasingly chaotic America, if not the world. That's okay. I eat pizza with my hands at most, Mary. There you go, Big Mikey P's
Sorry,
hands
I
club.
stopped listening for a moment. Once he did not like Minecraft.
What if
Joking.
What if the pizza place provided you with like rubber gloves to wear? Would that be okay?
What, me?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
I just don't.
I know some places. I think it's more like wing places. They're like, here, have gloves.
I think they'd probably have nitrate gloves rather than rubber gloves.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, probably. It's different over here because the stuff, a lot of the food over here is like artisanal, or the stuff that we eat, and it's like that sourdough stuff, so there's really not a lot of There's like polenta at the bottom, but I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. So to continue Big Mikey P's latest essay, he says at 16 minutes, from the aforementioned Batman the Adventures continue, although the kicker literally is one apocryphal Jason Todd Robin 2. Personally, I think it was Batgirl during the lost years between BTAS and TMBA. 17 minutes and 45 seconds. I don't mind his clothes though, he looks dapper enough. 25 minutes and 48 seconds. In his defense, 99.9% of the rogues gallery may have been in Arkham Asylum at the time. I actually thought his hands were drawn normal, but drawn weirdly for a cartoon show's personality aesthetic. Like how many Western animated folks have four-finger hands or just bean-shaped heads. Birds of a feather is at least no prophecy of doom. Also, it's not too hard on. See, he's self-sensitive. I don't know what word he's saying. It's hard A and then dash 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 D. I thought he might be trying to say hardcore, but there's no C in there. Anyway, and amateur when compared to Static Shock's Jimmy and Where the Rubber Meets the Road. Types the checking clipped fingernail. Types while checking clipped fingernails. Nothing wrong with nail polish collections and nail polish nerd videos, Mary. So there you go, Mary. If you want to do some nail polish videos, Big Mikey P will watch.
Well, I was thinking about doing some TikToks, but I've got what I do with myself is kind of like with the Substack. I put too much on my own plate, and then I ADHD my way out of it somehow.
Again, Mary is a good feminine name, but for my opinion, the names Amity, Milo, Fernan, Azusa sound better. Can't exactly describe why. Superman the Animated Series The Hand of Fate next. Alrighty then, shall await this. Random pick for an all-time favourite movie, because there are many, would be Shrek 2.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't mind the Shrek movies, but I don't love them. But, fair enough if it's one of your favourites.
I don't hate them, but I do think because I am literally around that age when they came out, they overdid a lot of the like marketing and stuff. I remember going to the cinema to see something that had absolutely nothing to do with kids things or young adult things or whatever. It was a rated R movie too, and then all of a sudden it's like the Smash Mouth song comes on and you see Shrek and it's like, oh, okay, it's a trailer for Shrek on this movie.
Oh, I see. I thought you were saying Shrek was in the film.
Oh,
but yes, but just to finish off Big Mikey P's comment, he says, relax yet again, Mary. I drink 8+ cups of water per day. The problem is I do number one lots in return. Yes.
Your kidneys are probably in really great condition.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, I ask people about that as well, like all of the time. Like, do you drink enough water?
Tell me about your kidneys.
Yeah. Well, I have great kidneys. It's probably not the only thing that's good on me.
Yes, but thank you for your comment, Big Mikey P. Right, next we have Julia Raoul, who says, hey, absolute grumpy catman Luke Wilson and Mary Lou Who from Whoville, and this episode is nice. I would have preferred the absolute goddamn Luke man, but oh well, it's fine. This is an okay Penguin episode, but I still find it funny that later on he would clean up his act and open the Iceberg Lounge. I'm surprised he didn't try to ask Veronica on another date. I think by that point he was fed up of them. But I would like this version of the Penguin to become mayor of Gotham. Yeah, like he did in the Batman Adventures Volume 2. That was really good. Just seeing Oswald trying to run Gotham City and play it like a harp from hell. Like, forget Gangster Penguin, I find Mayor Penguin to be more interesting. So I have a few questions for Luke Wilson. First one is, do you like my community posts and am I welcome there? And doesn't look like there isn't a lot of Marvel fans, so am I the only one? I think your community posts are fine. You're welcome to post whatever you want there. I try to keep an eye on what people say in there, but I don't always check it every day, and I probably should. I know there are Marvel fans in there, but other people like Marvel stuff. And you're welcome to talk about Marvel stuff too. Second, why don't you talk about stuff other than Batman? Like, why won't you talk about Spider-Man or X-Men or MCU characters like Miles Morales, Spidey? Do you hate fun? No, but I just love Batman.
Who are those people?
Who? What people?
Spider-Man. I'm just kidding. I always make that joke about Spider-Man, and I think Luke knows why.
Yeah.
Because of the Twitter Spooderman.
Yeah.
Sputterman or whatever.
Yes. The other answer is a practical thing. I've got all of the Batman shows digitized now, so I have access to all of the material very easily. It's easy for me to put the video together. I'm actually editing a video right now that's got a fair bit of X-Men stuff in it, and it's been such a pain sourcing the material for it. It's made me question my life choices, frankly. But yeah, you'll be able to watch that in about a month or so, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, anyway, last question. If the absolute universe is so good, why, I have to ask, where are all the black and queer people? Well, there's quite a few queer and characters of colour in Green Lantern. Also, where are all the weird fun characters like Batmite, Mixie, Danny the Street, Mr. Nobody, and the Brotherhood of Dada and the Doom Patrol? Well, considering the absolute universe has been around for just over a year now, excuse me, just over a year, I imagine they will start turning up.
Does anybody remember? I think it was a Wii game that was I think it was crossed over with not the 3DS. What was the DS?
Yeah.
Was that? Am I just dreaming that, or did that actually
Are you
happen?
talking about the Brave and the Bold game?
Yeah, didn't it
Yeah.
have like the Batmite?
It did. Batmite was in
cross,
that. Yes, it did.
not crossed over.
Hmm.
By the way, how do you guys say crossed? Do you say it as if there's a T at the end or an ED?
ED. Sorry, I've lost my place in the question. If the absolute universe is so great yet take itself so seriously, I have to ask you, when will it get good and campy and weird? Because to me, that's why I got into DC Comics in the first place. Well, I would say read Absolute Martian Manhunter, because that one, not really campy, but it is weird. It's very heartfelt, and it's got a strong message in it that a lot of people need to hear. And, it provoked a negative reaction in some of the worst people out there. One of the messages in it is that extremism can happen to anybody. It's not just, it's not just like a certain religion or a certain ethnicity. It can be anybody. And I do recall, even just from some of my videos, there were a couple of people on there saying this is an attack on white people, and it's like, well, no, it's not. If you actually look at it, if you actually read the words and don't just look at the pictures, then you'll see that it's actually anyone and everyone.
I am so fed up at the moment. Let me sit on my pedestal for a moment.
Please
my
do.
soapbox. I am so fed up of hearing that phrase. This is an attack on white people. And it's a thing that I never thought in a million years that I would hear every day. But because I'm on like the political side of TikTok, I hear a lot of people say it. And it's like, well, given that white people have been doing this for, however long, don't you think that it's not an attack? It's actually like just, you know,
Well,
uh
it's highlighting how abominable some of those acts are, and
yeah.
actually, those kind of people that say that that this is like, like mass shootings are part of white culture, right? These are white people saying this. I actually find that deeply offensive as a white person, because I'm not going to go up and shoot a group of innocent people or strangers or commit an act of mass violence. I'm not going to do that.
I don't think it's any group.
No, it's not.
I think it's
And yeah,
mentally unwell.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. It is, and it's the implication that somehow belongs to us
It's
is,
only because I think the NRA
well, yeah,
is predominantly white.
well, yeah.
And I just don't. I have opinions on the NRA,
Hmm.
and they're not great, but I don't care if as long as you know how to use one of the pew pews,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a safe for it and everything like that. That's your own thing, okay? I don't like guns, and I come from a family of people that were very well known for like hunting and stuff like that. Um, but I don't like them because of what I've seen on
Mm-hmm.
on the news since I've been alive, and it's my personal choice not to associate with them.
Yes.
But all of the people that I not all of the people that I grew up with, for the most part, did not have those either. And they still got into a lot of trouble,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's just, we don't need them anymore. We really don't. We are so close to having
Hmm.
superpowers.
Yeah, I think the thing that annoys me is like they take all of these like negative actions, these awful things, like racism, discrimination, bigotry, etc., and try to lump it on, let's say, me or my family or other people that I know who are not racist, who are not bigots, who believe in equality and fairness and judging people on their character rather than physical attributes. I personally find that uh, I guess I'll just say offensive. I'll put it that way.
Because think of all of the people of color, the queer people, all of that, how they feel.
Yeah.
And what is happening at the moment is that the white people that are saying things like this are trying to, flip the script
Mm-hmm.
to make it to where they're the victim when that is
Yes.
simply not the
Or
truth.
that their abhorrent behaviour is somehow normal. Like, no, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
And the thing is, again, what is going on in the community in terms of people of color, the queer community, and the allies is much more peaceful than what is said on the news. Because at the end of the day, the people that we looked up to, that wanted equality, that forced equality because it needed to be done, did it in a peaceful way and in an intelligent way.
Yeah.
And it's that phrase, like an attack on white people.
Oh.
Like, get over yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's about 5 different things in that one freaking paragraph that you've just read out that is offensive to part of my family, part of, my community in terms of the LGBTQIA
Mm-hmm.
plus, and so on and so forth. But feel free to be the victim in this.
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. And what exactly is, the mass known as white people anyway, right? What is that exactly?
Yeah,
Because there's lots of different cultures. English culture is different to Scottish culture, which is different to Welsh culture, which is different to New Yorkers, who are different to people from, I don't know, France. It's all just stupid, and I feel like we spent too long talking about this. I'm sorry.
but I'm of the opinion that there is no attack on
No, there isn't.
the Caucasians.
No, it's an attack on hate.
Yeah,
what it is.
And it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'll try and finish Julia's comment now. It says, anyway, thanks for reading my filibuster of a letter, Luke Wilson and Mary Lou, who, let's hope the Grinch doesn't steal your Barbies. And yes, Mary Jane Parker was my favourite movie, is Street Fighter from 94, mostly because it's hammy, campy, funny movie. Watched as a kid, made me a fan of Street Fighter and most things Capcom. And Raul Julia is a national treasure. And Jean-Claude Van Damme and Mei Nei Wind, who plays Chun-Li, and Cammy. There we go.
I remember liking that movie, but in a
it has some wonderful stuff in it, but overall I didn't like it. But the day I came to your village and destroyed everything was the most significant day of your life. But to me, it was Tuesday.
I don't remember why I liked it so much. We should probably rewatch like Combat and Street Fighter at some point, but I don't know if I would rewatch. It's one of those things I wouldn't rewatch because I think I'm okay with how I feel about it now.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, I'm glad we've clarified our feelings on Street Fighter the movie. Because that's what people are tuning in to hear about. All right, but yes, thank you for your comment, Julia. So next person is one and only Cucumber, who says, hello, Mary, hello, Luke, everyone's favourite character, Cucumber here. This one is a bit of a long one, so you should probably have a long sip of water. Here we go.
That's one of the worst noises ever.
Oh, I had to really exaggerate it so that they would hear. Excuse me. So, he says, I guess the Penguin wasn't the evil Monopoly man, but just the sad Monopoly man. We live in a society. If I recall, Mary wanted me to talk about good old Aotearoa. Was that right? Did I say that? I completely forgot about what. Probably tourism. Okay, so I pretty much spent most of my time at home. I don't get out much and I don't have much of an idea of what tourism is like here. But the thing about Aotearoa, Oa, God, is we have so many funny birds. Oh, this is New Zealand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I
Okay.
was waiting for you to get that.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. So many funny birds. This is why the episode is called. This is why the episode is called Birds of a Feather. I time travelled to specifically name the episode Birds of a Feather. The reason why we have so many funny birds, because we are a faraway island that was sunken for a while and blasted by volcanoes and stuff. The only mammals we have here are two species of bats. Now birds, they migrated here because there was so much food and it was sunny most of the time. A decent amount of them became pretty bad at flying, hence the kiwi bird and the moa, and I guess the kereru. Oh yeah, the kereru, the New Zealand wood pigeon, are very stupid and silly, and I love them. Basically, they're very fat, glossy, forest green birds that eat berries, but sometimes they eat fermented berries and get drunk, so they start falling out of trees. Also, they're so fat that when they fly, they are loud as hell. Kereru are my spirit animal. The other birds we have are, oh god, Piwa Kawaaka, or fantail. That's much easier to say. They are very friendly and cheeky birds. They often stay close-ish to humans because we disturb insects that they eat. The tui, which are pretty bluebirds with two white wattles, and they tend to fight each other. Like I've seen more tuis fighting than I have seen them on their own. The pukeko, or purple swamp hen. Okay, they're actually blue. Have you seen the meme of the big fluffy blackbird with the big ass feet going, damn? Those are juvenile pukeko. We also have a mountain parrot that I forgot the name of that comes down to towns and tends to tear parts of our cars off for funsies. I love Aotearoa. Finally, the kiwi bird. Okay, so they are ratites. They are ratites, meaning they're related to ostriches, emus, and cassowary. I can never say that word, but I think I just did. And even the extinct moa. So, did they evolve from the moa? Nope. Ratites are most likely had a flying ancestor and that lost its flight individually. Really interesting stuff. B, they are one of the only birds that hatch fully feathered. C, they cannot see red light, which is why the kiwi enclosures are bathed in red, so visitors won't disturb them. They have not. D, they have nostrils on the very end of their beak, unlike most other birds. E, they are actually very angry birds and do attack people. They use their big, strong legs and claws to leave massive gashes on intruders, and it's sort of hit and run. So, yes, they are territorial. F, their squawk is nightmare fuel, actually terrifying. G, they lay eggs equal to a third of their body weight and size. Ouch. Eggs so big for their body that it actually pushes the kiwi bird's organs around.
Oh.
Poor things. So there's Aotearoan bird facts. Also, we are not Australia. Stop calling us smaller Australia. Who called you smaller Australia?
Oh, I would never.
I didn't either. I'm sick of tired of being called Australian. I am not Aussie and I have no connections to the quarrying industry. Thank you. If you want more Aotearoan facts, just ask. I didn't even mention how we used to have an official wizard in Parliament. Cool. Always remember your driver. Thanks to bus. Always remember your driver. Thank to bus. Start storing music as OGGs and listen to Totally Schway. See you next week or 2 weeks. Bye.
New Zealand is one of the places that I would like to go to.
Mm.
Well, there's obviously Luke knows why.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I've heard it's such a beautiful place. Since you told me about some of your birds, I will tell you about some of the birds that I grew up with. There's three in particular. I actually had to look up their names. And then I realized I actually knew what their names were. So, the hummingbird. We've got a few different ones in Oklahoma. We have the scissor-tail flycatcher, which I might be mistaken, but I think that is on the Oklahoma flag. I think. It was either that or the Millennium Quarter. You have the cardinal, which is the red bird, and the bluebird, and there's a woodpecker that I don't know the name of. but we have quite a lot of them because you would hear them even in Midwest City where I'm from. It was so it's such a weird sound, but it's such a it gives me joy. So yeah, there's some birds from home for you.
I'll share some birds that we see: sparrows, finches,
Warbirds,
robins, warblers,
warblers.
Seagulls, pigeons, and parakeets. That's an unusual
Yeah.
bird. They're not native to this country, but the I guess the myth is that some rich person in London let all of their pet parakeets go, and they've just been breeding in the wild ever since. And now we've got at least like 15 or 20 parakeets living in a tree opposite us, and they come and eat like moss off the side of the building, or just irritate our cat.
The thing is, oh, there's one of them, at least one of them, that I've told you about this before, where it's on the roof, right?
Mm.
And then Gilgamesh can see it, and then it just walks back, and then it'll poke its little head ever so slightly, and then Gilly will do that the chittering
Yeah,
thing,
they
and
play
it's so
peekaboo.
funny. Yeah, so they're very intelligent. I think a lot
Yes,
of birds are intelligent.
yes. I forgot about magpies and crows and
Oh
blackbirds.
yeah, crows were very prominent in where I but I had a murder in my I would always tell you about this,
There's a
but
murder.
well I didn't know what the name of it was. I just told you there's crows outside my window. But apparently there was a murder outside of my window.
When I was in LA, there were lots of crows around there as well, and to the point that I noticed it and thought it was ominous. But there were like 4 or 5 crows just like circling around overhead. I thought, have I died?
I wonder if it's like a dry place thing.
Probably. But
Hmm.
it's not that dry here, and yet they are.
I love
There
it.
are plenty of them.
My sons, daughters, and non-binary queens.
Anyway, thank you, everybody's favourite character, the one and only Cucumber, for your remark, and I apologise if I mispronounced anything. If you've been a long time listener, you'll know that I often mispronounce things that aren't in English, as well as things that are English. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the next comment now, which is from RJ Productions, who says the main problem I have with the episode, and I explain it in more detail in my review, so spoilers, is that they made Penguin too likeable and too much like a pitiful punching bag. To me, the Penguin isn't some gullible fool who's easy to manipulate. As a character, he should be the manipulator. I'm not saying Veronica can't be manipulative too, but I think it would have been cool if the manipulation went both ways. And it turned out that Penguin was into Veronica, which changes her whole worldview and perspective on people and how it feels to be used. Also, Batman was oddly cold for someone who's usually the first person to give his villains a chance at redemption. Overall, while it's not as awful as other cartoon episodes I've watched, it has so much missed potential but ended up writing both Batman and Penguin in ways that were uncharacteristic for the sake of the plot. A plot like this would fit more in line with a Simpsons episode with a character like Mr. Burns, but that's just my take. Overall, I don't mind Penguin being sympathetic, but in this episode he was portrayed less like the criminal mastermind we all know, and more like a naive, bumbling teenager with a silly schoolboy crush. I think Batman Returns, Gotham, and even the Penguin TV series with Colin Farrell do a better job of portraying a sympathetic and tragic take on the Penguin, while still maintaining his cruelty and manipulation. To me, Oswald Cobblepot should be Gotham's Joe Goldberg, a manipulative incel who uses his tragedy as an excuse for his actions and weaponizes it to get what he wants, and manipulate people to make himself seem like a victim to others. Also, the Billie Eilish song Birds of a Feather is 10 times better than this train wreck of an episode, and if I hear it mentioned one more time after this podcast and the follow-up comments episode, I'm gonna abstract myself. Steamy nose, scowly, crying emojis. Also, at 27 minutes and 23 seconds, the Mama Boys thing sounds way more compelling than whatever this episode tried to do with the character. Well, you'll have to let Paul Dini know that when you next see him, because it was his idea, apparently. All right, thank you for your comment, Harry. So we'll make sure to mention Birds of a Feather every week going forward.
They stick together like I don't mind.
Maybe that'll become the new theme tune. We don't even have a theme tune.
Could you imagine if Billie Eilish actually sounded as bad as I did? I like Billie Eilish. She's awesome.
Good.
There are some things I don't like about her. The fact that she's cooler than me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Okay. Shall I move on to the next comment then from the Phantasm, who says, "Greetings, I enjoyed the last video about Birds of a Feather. Admittedly, even though it's sometimes stated as perhaps the best use of the penguin in BTAS, I still generally find it forgettable and not a very compelling episode. And I don't like the message at the end, high society is to blame. Not that I don't think there's truth to it, I just don't feel Penguin is the right character for that message. To me, Penguin works best when they make it clear that regardless of whatever facade he may present at his core, he is a vile monster. Just not a literal one like in Batman Returns, but alas, Birds of a Feather feels like a bunch of cliches crammed together. Not one of the worst, but below middle of the road. I actually have news. Dun dun dun. I mentioned this to Luke a few weeks ago, but I started watching the Zeta Project for the first time recently, and I've just finished it 2 weeks ago at the time of writing this, at least. It was the only DCAU project I had never seen. In fact, I didn't know the show existed until just 6 years ago. When I found out, I thought, wait, the robot from those 2 okay episodes of Batman Beyond got his own show? And so I was initially a bit pessimistic about watching it. And I kept thinking that I'll only think, how on earth did this character get his own show before Wonder Woman or The Flash? And while I definitely still feel that way about the last part, I was actually pleasantly surprised and was won over by the show. Zeta's kind and innocent nature was very endearing, and I can confidently say that Ro is a better character than literally everyone in Terry's high school. Ouch. Yes, Max started out great, but as the show progressed, she more or less faded into the background during season 3. The show was pretty decent, not amazing or something I'll rewatch anytime soon, but it had a lot of charm. Well, you might be pleased to hear in one of my future videos I'm also editing in some stuff from the Zeta Project. So that's fun. I've lost my place in the comment with my little aside there. Okay. Oh, and I should say, I've said in the past that I consider Sam Young to be the worst DCAU character, and I definitely still do. But after seeing the Zeta Project, I have found the second worst. Agent West sucks. He's not a character, he's just supposed to be comedic relief, except he's not funny. Every time Bennett is getting close to Zeta, it's followed with, whoops, Agent West says or does something stupid, or trips and loses his gum, or a myriad of other stupid things. He's pointless, and while he has an annoying, bratty personality, he is utterly superfluous. The reason he's not the worst is because at least he has a personality, unlike the walking, living cardboard that is Sam Young. Anyway, aside from that, I also watched Season 2 of Peacemaker. Sadly, despite loving Season 1, I didn't totally care for Season 2. In fact, Season 2 might be my least favourite project James Gunn has made. I got the feeling that after having to write so many projects around the same time, he just got burnt out. I won't say much else if you haven't seen it yet. I actually just watched it all this weekend, and I preferred it to Season 1. I felt Season 1 really dragged around the middle. But this one I was hooked on pretty much every episode. The last episode was a bit slow, but it ended strongly. Anyway.
Can you tell them what I've been doing most of the weekend other than the garden center?
Fretting about the book.
Other than fretting about the book?
What else have you been doing?
My beating.
My
crystal art. I'll have Luke insert a photo here of some of my crystal art.
Okay, you'll have to send me the pictures you want me to share them.
Yeah.
To continue the Phantasm's comment, he says, and in regards to the STAS episode, The Hand of Fate, honestly, I never really loved it personally. I liked seeing Superman out of his element, and magic is definitely something he famously doesn't care for. But my biggest issue is that I don't like how it handles Dr. Fate and Superman having already met off screen. The way it's handled, it doesn't feel natural, and instead makes me feel like, wait, did I miss an episode? Compare this to a similar episode from TNBA, The Demon Within, which as Batman already know Jason and Etrigan, but I think it does a lot better by having Tim Drake as a stand-in for the viewer and being equally confused, so it works a lot better as the introduction to the character. Plus, also, it makes a nod towards the Batman Adventures annual where Batman met Etrigan. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you read that, then you know what they're talking about when he said, oh yeah, we met before, cough, cough. Yes. Plus, even if Luke is not a big Clarion fan, you have to admit he's more entertaining and memorable than Karkle. Speaking of Karkle, I swear I've always thought the audio of his dialogue, because of the filter they chose, was almost incomprehensible sometimes. I often had to check the subtitles. Oh, and since Mary asked, my favourite film of all time is What's Up, Doc? From 1972 with Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal. Now, if you'll excuse me, my omnibus of Denny O'Neill's The Question has arrived, and I'm going to enjoy reading that. And if it makes you feel better, Luke, I won't be caught dead eating pizza with a knife and fork. Take care. Now, Aris there has proven that he listens to all of the podcasts because he answered all of the questions.
Nobody's asked me what my favorite movie is yet.
Didn't we say in the last
No.
episode? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is your favourite movie then?
Last Tango in Paris.
I'm pretty certain we said that.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we did, which is probably why no one's asking.
Remember what my second and third favorite movies are?
Accountants from Hong Kong.
Yes.
And Sweepings.
That's probably fourth or fifth. My third one is The Apartment.
Oh, I should have known that one.
Yeah. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next comment. Thank you for your comment, Phantasm. So Doc Widener's up next, and he says, thank goodness you're here. Highs in the low 70s, low 20 degrees C, and lows in the high 40s, high single digit C are forecast this week, and sunny. We have been in a bit of a drought. It rained last Tuesday, and rain is forecast for next Saturday. Definitely less rain than usual because folks have been able to get their corn harvested. A lot of fields usually have corn waiting to harvest, going into November, but lots more empty fields not even halfway into the month. I do eat pizza with my hands. You do not want to know who eats pizza the way you do, even though he ate it backwards back in the day for the Pizza Hut stuffed crust commercial when they first...
Oh my god! Are you...
Who was it?
I think he's talking about DT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, with the knife and fork. I have seen that, actually, yeah.
I don't even want to Google it.
No, don't do it. It'll infect your browser history.
Ugh. Oh, I forgot about that, Doc.
I like this episode. Possibly the best Penguin story in BTAS after I've got Batman in my basement. I am kidding, Luke. But yeah, when I met Frank Parr, I had to apologise to him for being quite vitriolic about Batman in my basement. He was like, "It's okay, it's not a problem. I had a bad crew and I'd like to be able to do it again." And I was like, "No, don't do it." Anyway, but yeah, they were a bit passive-aggressive with Warner Brothers in regards to the Penguin, so rarely did he get an episode. I know some folks prefer to have bad guys that are clearly bad guys, and there's no reason to feel any sympathy for them. Me, I like some nuance in my bad guys, maybe because I hope anyone can be redeemed and to believe that you need to see their humanity in other people. The well needs to be reshocked. Dun, dun, dun. Mary's watch was just going off then in disbelief. There's a shade too much coliform bacteria. So that is a fun process of adding vinegar and bleach and running that until you smell it in the water in the house. Then not use the water for 24 hours, then flush the water and then have them come out to retest.
I'm sure something like that happened. But honestly, if anything that has to do with plumbing, I'm out. Literally, I am out. Even when I was younger, I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's not happening. There is a reason why we have plumbers that are so good at their jobs. Because they know the ins and outs of it. I do not. I will give them as much money as they want me to pay them. I was talking about the sediment in the water.
Yes. Yeah, this is funny. Mary didn't tell me that you're not supposed to drink the tap water in Oklahoma City, so when I was there... Midwest City, excuse me. So when I was there, I had a glass of tap water, and she's like, "Oh, where did you get your drink from?" I said, "Just from the tap." She's like, "Oh, okay, maybe don't do that. It's full of jet fuel, apparently."
Something I read recently, like in the past couple of months, that it's kind of okay.
Yeah, but this was in 2008.
Yeah, but
it was nearly 20 years ago. Oh my god, it was nearly 20 years ago.
I just remember my grandparents being very like, "Don't you do that."
Well, if I end up with some weird cancer, then we'll know what did it. The county fair was this week. I sent Mary some pictures. Can't recall if I sent the chicken park one or not, so we'll post it for Screen Wiper. Just seemed like something that would be cute to hang near the entrance where the ladies are. Do hope you guys get around to Peacemaker. I'm not sure if I'm in the actual minority or if it's just the minority that is louder in regard to the finale. I think maybe some of the blame is on the way Gunn sold it to folks and expected maybe Superman or Brainiac or Supergirl to show up instead of an organisation they got.
Oh,
yeah. That made me go, nice. And also the cliffhanger stuff was good as well. Well, you're never going to watch it, Mary. You said so. Nah. I just want to say more because there was one thing that bugged me but don't want to spoil it. Sorry, the Sooners lost Red River, Mary. I picture Luke looking like Lisa Simpson in the episode Bart vs. Australia where they post an image of an abandoned theatre with a sign saying Yahoo Serious Festival. Lisa says to the State Department briefer, "I know those words, but the sign makes no sense." Haunt visits happen Friday. It will be a smaller crew than usual for various reasons that maybe I will elaborate on later. And so ends the comment of Dot Widener.
We don't have over here. I don't think we have. Like I was talking to my niece about this because she's part of the haunted forest, or one of the haunted forest in where she lives, and I was trying to think about it. Like we don't have things like that over here, do we?
Generally not, no. Halloween's not that big of a deal. It's more for like little children.
I love Halloween.
But yeah, they don't, and they might do like Halloween themed bar nights, where everyone goes in costume, but that's it.
Yeah, everybody is doing the like Harley Quinn shorts that are like 1 inch, whatever.
Yes.
Which is fine, great, but it's nice to do scary stuff too.
Yes, but thank you for your comment. I'm going to move on to Ryan Jones, who is next, who says, hello, everyone. Now for one of 2 best Penguin episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Birds of a Feather. I love that Commissioner Gordon was speaking for me about Piers Chapman being a twit. I hate Chapman so much, especially his laugh. That I just want to punch his non-existent chin off. Maybe somebody did that.
Oh, no.
The other best Penguin episode is The Mechanic. I love this episode because I like the episode shows the origins of the Batmobile, and the episode is the episode that Penguin almost got him. By the way, did you like my cameo appearance on the Absolute Universe livestream, Luke? Yes, I did. You saw I acknowledged you, explaining you were one of my people. That was when I was on Casually Comics channel talking about the Absolute Comics, and I'm sure everyone that's interested in the comic books went and watched that. My favourite movies of all time are Toy Story 1 and 2, the animated Super Mario Bros. Movie, Sonic 2 and 3, Wreck-It Ralph, and Ghostbusters. Before I watched this episode, I rewatched the episode that you talk about Penguin to get me ready for this episode, and I would love to film Paul Williams singing the Rainbow Connection in his Penguin voice. It would be a dream come true for me, and I'd post it to YouTube to document it forever. I also eat pizzas with my hands like any other normal person. I don't care about what anyone says. I like Lady Penguin from Cape Crusader.
My watch went off again.
Yeah, no. How dare you? Pizza with your hands.
You know what? There are a lot of things I don't do that aren't quote unquote normal, so that's fine.
In Mary's mind, normal is a dirty word.
I mean, sometimes it is, but the way that you've said it is fine, because I know you're kind of joking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes, thank you for your comment, Ryan. So I'm going to go on to Lower Lucas Jr. next, who says, hey, today it's Totally Schway, spectacular season on a haunted Sunday. Man bat with tariff prices. I say no way.
Oh.
Let's face it, we shall pay. Yeah, I know. It was like 12 quid extra. Ugh.
Well, you're kind of on not a ban, but a...
Yeah, I basically, we've decided we have to sort our lives out, and that means I have to stop buying as much stuff.
I want a bigger place. Eventually.
Yeah.
Because this place, we love it.
It's okay.
We bought this back in 2017.
Yeah, something like that.
And it was kind of out of, not desperation, but we needed to live in this area.
Yeah.
And this was like one of the only places that wasn't like a 1-bedroom or whatever. So
yeah, it was the best we could get with the time that we had, and we need to move on and upwards, but I can't do that with the amount of spending I've been doing, so I have to roll it all back.
I'm glad that I have nothing to do about this spending ban, because I'm not on a spending ban myself, because I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm on a ban, but basically I have to just be sensible. If when Mondo come out with their Two-Face figure, I'm buying that day one, I don't care. And the Batgirl one. So they're BTAS figures. They're basically on the buy immediately, regardless of the price.
No prints, though.
Yeah, unless it's a John Calmette print.
Well, of course.
I can get the John Calmette prints, but anything else, probably not. Anyway.
This is not me doing that to him, by the way.
No, well, I just had to look at my finances and go, oh, God, is that really how much I spent on all of that artwork? Oh, my God. Anyway, I need to continue Lower Lucas Jr.'s comment. And he says, salutations all on another magnificent Totally Schway. Let's face it, we all love birds of a feather with our little cobblepot here. First off, none of us feel for that simpering little twit she hangs around with, as even Gordon understands Penguin's motives after what indignity he went through. Deep down, I think even Bruce was relieved to see a change for Oswald. After rewatching many episodes, I see Bruce does actually wish for the better for rogues. Wish for the better of rogues, yeah. But after a continuous streak of disappointments, he would take on his no-nonsense attitude from the new Batman adventures all the way to Justice League and beyond. As for Veronica Vreeland, she needs to have Ozzy in her life, as he was the only man to show genuine interest in her. I could see her being another thrill-seeker after her adventures with Harley. She'd not only be excited to see her again, but also excited to have Joker or Two-Face in the same room as her, then later gossip to her friends about it. Oh, sure, Oswald would share to keep a low profile, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind it, as she would show genuine love for her exciting partner. This would lead to his club to tackle the low profile he desires. Well, that's the fan fiction in me sharing that anyway. Till then, Mary, put a little influenza with the spice to make everything nice. I will also say if Harley can call out society as to blame, then maybe Ozzy's not that far off. And remember, she was a respectable psychiatrist. Next time on The Schway That Scared Me, the Cthulhu horror that Superman can only fight with the guiding hand of fate to intervene. As for favourite movies of all times, Gremlin 2, The New Batch. That's an interesting choice. Or in TV special count, Rankin Bass's The Hobbit. Till then, TTFN, ta-ta for now. I just need to make sure that we have got all of the comments now, because I feel like I've missed someone. Uh-oh. There are some comments that got caught. I'm going to have to read those. So the first one that got caught in the profanity filter for some reason was Captain Alces. The foul-mouthed Captain Alces. No, he didn't say anything bad. I just don't know why your profanity filter sometimes catches stuff that's perfectly fine.
Oh, mine? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why either, because I just copied and pasted from mine. But anyway. And he says, love your PSA at the end. As a glow-in-the-dark white boy, I cannot understand the importance. I cannot undersell, the importance of sunblock. If you think you don't need sunblock, then you probably need sunblock.
Yeah.
My favourite film of all time, probably a toss-up between The Emperor's New Groove, because it can always make me laugh, and Everything Everywhere at Once, because it's possibly the most profound film I've seen, while also wholly embracing the total absurdity of its premise. Your shipping woes are familiar to me. Here in the USA, it's called the de minimis exemption, and it's been mostly done away with as part of the dysfunctional administration's aggressive tariff policy. I know it affects imports, but maybe exports as well. Yes, it does. Or the UK has done something similar in retaliation against the US. Everything is now more expensive because of one bleep decided to burn everything down. Pardon my Grawlixes. As for the episode itself, I think Oswald was on the verge of a real character development. Everyone was manipulating him and laughing behind his back, but he was also completely clueless about the social norms, as Luke pointed out. Instead of meeting in the middle and making an effort to learn these things, Oswald simply expected to reap the benefits of being a high society gentleman. His eye was on the reward rather than responsibility, not that the wealthy elite have much of that to begin with, as well as his ego as someone who must be adored. But he rarely made an effort to be interested in others. Yet we saw him turning around when he thought he had been accepted. But it was only a touch. His response to betrayal was to commit double homicide. To call it a disproportionate response is like... Actually, I can't think of a better analogy than what he literally did. Unfortunately, the scale of criminal reform takes more than a few weeks and friendship to correct. Patterns are hard to break, and people should be expected to backslide multiple times in life. Someone as dangerous as Penguin should never have been released into society at all without years of structured rehabilitation.
Rude.
But that's Gotham's justice system for you. I guess society really was to blame.
You know what? I could say that about a lot of people in this world.
Yes.
If they would have just been in a medical facility for a lot longer and got help, the world would be a different place.
Yes, it would. And now, the final comment, I believe, is from Screenwiper, who says, 1454, I don't like getting grease on me, so I'm okay eating pizza with a knife and a fork.
Finally!
So sometimes I use cutlery, and sometimes I use my hands, depending on the mood and the pizza and the cutlery. I guess some cutlery sucks. 42 minutes and 33 seconds. My favourite movie is Jurassic Park, which is also the favourite movie of CW's Barry Allen. As for Birds of a Feather, it's definitely one of the better Penguin episodes. It also starts off the character arc of Veronica Vreeland, who is a mean girl piece of crap at the start of the story. Some might say Penguin wasn't ruthless and manipulative enough, that he trusted Veronica too much and should have been playing her from the start. That would be very in character, especially from comic book Penguin, who is a toxic sociopath. But it fits if he was genuinely trying to turn himself around and be good, and I think he was. But being good isn't easy, not in a world which it is itself not particularly good. Penguin's motivations were probably along the lines of, if I'll be good, I'll be rewarded. Which isn't how it works. Karma clearly does not exist in our universe or theirs. To be good, you have to do things the honourable way instead of the most self-serving way, and you have to rise above society ridiculing, neglecting, or trying to exploit you. Penguin wasn't prepared for all that. A normal person finds being bad just as difficult as being good because of things like empathy and guilt, but Penguin doesn't have most people's capacity for such feelings, which is what makes him give up and return to villainy so quickly. It's the easier way for him. Speaking of very good birds,
Yay!
chicken news for Sunday the 12th of October. A good week for the Buckers. Betty is getting on well with the other hens. She hangs out one-on-one with all three of them. When hangs out with Doris or Mabel, she's in charge but also protective like a big sister should be with a little sister. When she hangs out with Wilma, it's a lot more touchy-feely with lots of cuddling and other bonding behaviours. Betty still gets grumpy sometimes, especially at me, usually if she thinks I'm going to pet or physically examine her. She hates being touched. But she's sweet to me most of the time. Wilma being a little more relaxed around me, less worried I'm going to whisk to the vets to take her away from home, but more hostile to Doris and Mabel, though usually regarding food. Wilma is still working on putting her weight back on and getting back to a healthy size. She's still a bit scrawny from her illness that gave her trouble eating for a few weeks. I'm okay with Wilma being a bit possessive over food, as she doesn't hurt anyone, and everyone gets a fair share to eat, which still seems to be the case. I want to tell her off as little as possible, as I don't want to risk putting her off eating. Doris is laying eggs again. This morning I saw Mabel leave the coop after having gotten up earlier, so checked to see if she had laid an egg in there. The hens only go in the coop during the day when they're laying, when they're ill or when they're scared. There was an egg in there, but it looked and felt very Dorisy, round, plain, with the marble texture her eggs have. It was also cold, so I knew it hadn't just come out of Mabel, nor had she been sitting on it. If Mabel lays an egg today, I'll know this one isn't hers and must be yours, I said to Doris. Early afternoon, Mabel went into the bushes and built a nest in which to lay her egg. "Daddy, look," shouted Betty from the bottom of the garden. I came out and saw Mabel building her bush egg. I told Betty she was a very good girl for letting me know about that. "Can I have a treat?" she asked. "Not yet," I replied. "Not until Mabel has finished her work. She doesn't deserve to miss out on treats." When Mabel was done, she called me to let her know. I took the egg, called her a good girl, and knew the first one must be Doris's. I'm also keeping an eye on Betty. There was a big egg in the unusual spot in the coop this week. I attribute it to Mabel, but she probably did lay it, but it does look like a Betty egg. If it was Betty, then it was good enough quality to not risk her health. Not seen any more since yet, though. Sunday, 19th of October. Doris is back to laying eggs on a regular basis. They are good quality and she is having frequent days off, so she doesn't overdo it. After praising her last week for how she has been with the younger hens, Betty picked on them a bit this week. She got told off each time this was witnessed and seems to have stopped now. Wilma and Betty shared a sand bath together this week, like in the 69 hens meme. It was adorable. Mabel is well, also doing good eggs but not working too much. Total sweetheart still. Haven't seen a rat all week, though the kite did fly over on a cloudy and misty day, which is unusual. Normally it only comes here on clear days. By the time I go outside to intimidate it away, the jackdaws were already harassing it. They're our first and best line of defence. The kite flew away without eating anyone. P.S. I wonder how my hens would differ from who they are here in the Absolute universe created by Darkseid. Absolute Blue would sure be something. Are you certain we don't live in the Absolute universe? I was going to say. Yes, but thank you for your comment, Screen Wiper. I think that's all the comments then, Mary. Everything has been said.
So, what are we talking about next time?
It'll be comments from the Hand of Fate episode of Totally Schway, our Halloween special.
Oh, yeah. And guys, watch out for a video of Luke and I where you get to see both of our faces.
Is there?
Yeah,
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah, it'll happen at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, or maybe not next year. But at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
I just hurt my neck. Ow.
All right. I love you guys. Have a really good week. And if you don't, remember aliens might exist on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Thank you so much, by the way.